bitches.
Oh, we're fancy.
We're pinkies up today.
Oh, where's my wine?
I mean, you got your bubbly.
It's fancy. It's like champagne.
For alcoholics.
Without the embarrassing things at holiday parties that you'll regret and not be able to go into the office the next day.
You mean the mistletoe? We need to get a mistletoe over here.
You want to make out? I feel like that would make our viewers go up.
I mean, it might. I mean, that would have to be on the exclusive content. But we digress. Jessica, what is going on in your world?
Well, fun stuff. I have a visit with the foot doctor tomorrow.
Ooh.
So fingers crossed.
Where's the boot?
Well, it just gets really heavy in the seat, so I left the boot on the floor.
Okay.
And then I put the shoe on.
Don't worry, guys. She got in the chair.
Yeah.
She took the boot off.
I made it.
And then she put the regular shoe on. Don't worry. She is booted up.
I just got back from Salt Lake City. I almost lost my toes because they were freezing in that stupid boot.
Dude, I can only imagine.
Freezing. I like tripled up on the socks.
Damn.
So I was in Salt Lake City, Utah to support our Ultimate Fighter alum castmate bestie, Rebecca Rodriguez, formerly Beck Rollins. It was a thing.
Yeah.
Bare Knuckle only wants to promote her.
I forgot she's Rodriguez now.
I know,
Oh.
but they're like really stuck on the fact that that's her name. They would have to do a whole branding change, all this thing. So they kept putting Rawlings down, and she's like, it's Rodriguez.
She needs to just walk around with cornrows and like big hoop earrings.
They're like, it's way more marketable if you're the blonde hair, blue eyed chick from Down Under, not like the girl from the Block.
And she's
Brooklyn.
just Becky from the block. Like, she'll always be Becky from the block to me. She knows way more Tupac songs than I know. She's down. I say let her rock Rodriguez. She probably rock it even better than Rollins.
Probably.
I feel like it.
Yeah, definitely.
She can hold the torch.
She was a fiery Latina in her previous life. And and in this one.
Now she's just a fiery gringa. But we love her all the same.
So I was there to corner and support our friend Jeremy Stevens, our other former teammate, also made his bare knuckle boxing debut against another former UFC vet in Rivera. Mm-hmm. And that was a fast one, a tough one, but luckily Jeremy made it out unscathed.
Dude, Jeremy is the last person I would want to fight in bare knuckle.
He's one of those people like he's built different. He's built for bare knuckle.
He's a savage.
I am so happy that that's where like the road led him. You look back and you see all these like clear, concise little steps that took you to where you are now, and that's what happened with bare knuckle. He was meant to fight.
That was in the stars. There's like hieroglyphics somewhere with Jeremy Stevens having a bare knuckle fight at this very moment. Like that was supposed to happen.
I'm pretty sure prophecy was just fulfilled.
Thank you, MMA guys. You finally gave us something good.
Oh my goodness.
It was an awesome fight. It was back and forth. It wasn't one-sided, but it was an awesome fight. And, I got to see Jeremy train a little bit between his fight with Jose Aldo, and now he looks so much more like a boxer. Like he's just really embraced the grind of being a boxer, training like one, doing the pad work like one, sparring like one. And I feel like it's hard to make that transition because you're so used to working to different goals in MMA. Like I'm just going to hit him real hard and then I'm going to knee him in the face, or I'm going to hit him real hard and then I'm going to take him down. When you don't have that follow-up, then you're kind of left to be punched, when somebody's really training boxing and really taking that part seriously. So it was cool to see him embrace that and then see him get the win on the other side of it.
Definitely. I think that it was also really impressive, even though Beck, she ended up losing. I thought she did so many good things, so many beautiful technical things. Everything that she's been working on and, that I've seen of her and everything she was warming up with, like she really nailed all of those. It was just one of those fights where her opponent was making some really good adjustments, and they both did their homework, and Christine came out on top. And I mean, she's a great champion, you know, tough lady. Very, very humble in victory and defeat. So it was really nice to see them both put on an extremely entertaining, great fight, a great display of bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah. Is it wrong to say that maybe people are more into females fighting bare knuckle for some reason? Like, I don't know what it is, but there's always like a girl either headlining or co-headlining, and people show up for those fights. Like I remember watching, who did Paige Van Zandt fight? Was it
Ostovich?
Yes. Paige Van Zandt versus Rachel Ostovich. I was into it. I'm like, these girls are throwing, and it looks technical. Like it looks better than,
well, and
you
they're
know.
also really hot.
Yeah, well, so, there was some boobies getting punched. There was a boob or two getting punched, and you know that adds to the flair of it. But hey, I really enjoyed the technicality of it, and also just these are two girls getting down. I don't know, maybe it's the novelty of seeing women do something so brutal. We're not used to that, so whenever you kind of see that, it grabs your attention. You're just like, oh shit. And then especially when it doesn't look like two girls who just came off of the street, is two girls who are well trained, who are very technical, who are going at it. I don't know, for some reason that always like perks my interest, maybe because I am a woman as well, but I think it perks the interest of the guys too.
I definitely think it does. I think there's some sort of maybe it's the dichotomy, the feminine and the brutality, and
yeah, it's like sexy. Everyone who was into Xena when they were a kid.
Exactly.
I want me a girl like Xena, warrior princess.
Yeah, there's just something about it, and I mean, it's also if you look at all of, you know, the female species in the animal kingdom, the females are always the most vicious.
They're the ones fucking shit up.
They really, really are.
Yeah, the guys are just there as like the, you know, the big bazooka if you really need it.
Yeah,
like they're just there for a show, really, to like walk around and show their balls. But the women are the one that are like,
territory.
All right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I have the best chicks that will fuck you up. Like that's what the guys are there to do. Don't come over here. These are my bitches, and they'll fuck you up. I'm just picturing a lion with huge balls. But that's what it's like. And like hyenas, too. The women actually have
mock penises.
Yes.
Yes.
So, like, my bitches will fuck you up, and so will I. You got to love the animal kingdom.
Love it.
Full of female empowerment.
Yes, I love it.
Black widows.
Praying mantises.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
We stay fucking shit up. So maybe it's just natural. It's natural for people to want to see this happen because it's just the order of things.
I think so. I think there's just some sort of intrigue, you know. It's we're past the days of like these passive ladies jumping their handkerchiefs.
Yeah, they were in control back then too. People just
they just did it subtly.
Yes,
they just did it subtly.
A soft hand.
Yes.
But it was really cool to watch the main event. Mike Perry versus Eddie Alvarez. Holy shit, that was probably the most beautiful bare knuckle fight I've seen. Like it was just so, I don't know, there's so much back and forth. There were so many adjustments being made, but then there was so much damage too. Like the damage on Eddie Alvarez's face. Oh my God. And then he was giving it back to Mike Perry. Mike Perry ended up like getting the finish. Like it was so cool to watch.
It was, and it's really good that everybody did well because the Nevada and California State Athletic Commission were there. And so were a bunch of investors. So they were making sure everybody was on their P's and Q's during the whole fight week, and especially during the fight because they are trying to get it sanctioned. Nevada's on board. They just don't want to be the first ones to do it.
Okay.
So they're waiting for California to give the nod first.
California?
I know.
Y'all are going to be waiting forever.
No, I have a feeling I have a feeling that they both want to do it because there's money, especially for Nevada. But it's been said that Nevada won't go first and they're waiting on California. And I feel like California would do it if Nevada did it. So it's like,
I wish they were waiting on someone who was more into freak show fights. Like, we have our chicken coop fights out here, but they're not sanctioned. You know,
no,
they are not sanctioned by California State Athletic Commission. California is the craziest one because they're all about the hydration test. If you weigh in at 115 and then fight the next day and they weigh you and you're 135, they're going to be like, hey, you need to move up. And that's every strawweight. Every strawweight I've fought has been at least 135 when I fought them. I'm not. I'm just a wee little thing. But it's literally everyone. And when you get up to the higher weight classes, it's even more dramatic. So I'd be really surprised if California allowed that before Nevada or anyone else. I wish they were waiting for like the Texas, like say Florida, like wait for those guys because they'll sign up quick.
Well, I mean, Florida's already there. Mississippi's already there.
Okay.
Utah's there. I mean, it was like the biggest thing that ever happened in Utah. Like it turned out they sold out their
their box office
junior hockey league stadium, which is a really nice size stadium.
Wow.
It was like 8,500 people.
Oh, wow.
It was a big turnout.
Yeah.
It was really well done. You know, normally when you get into these like big arenas, they'll like curtain off half of it. So I went out and peeked as soon as we got there. I was like, oh, it's the whole thing. It's the whole thing.
Everyone's here.
Everyone's here.
That's dope.
And there were some, you know, big shot investors that were there. So there are a lot of eyes on this card and it delivered.
Nice.
And I am one of those people that does not have a desire to fight bare knuckle ever. And I was asked repeatedly. Repeatedly, I was asked.
I'm so glad. Your poor hands.
Oh my God. They've been broken enough.
Dude.
My nose has been broken enough. You know what? I've taken a lot of damage in 17 years and I just, no, thank you.
Just be there for support.
Yes.
Be there to hold the ice pack.
All of it. You know what? I have a bone to pick with their commission though.
Oh.
They would not let me up. The doctor could go up in between rounds. The doctor got to sit by Adrian Beck's husband, who was, you know, first corner.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm there, you know, for moral support. I can shout out some stuff, but I'm there for support. You know,
for the ice.
Yes, that's a major job. And they wouldn't let me up there.
Huh?
I was like, okay, the ring card girls get to go up there. This guy gets to go up here. I was like, let me up. So I kept having to like shuck things up at Adrian. Aww. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird that they didn't allow us like 2 full on corners, which are necessary.
What about the other side? Did you peek over and see what was going on over there?
No.
It's too
there's
hectic.
Too much going on.
Yeah.
I'm more focused on, you know, on my fighter than what's going on over there.
I'm curious though if they were allowed 2 people to.
No, it was a
water and ice her.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
We're gonna have to look into that. I'm sure they were doing the same thing for everyone though.
Yeah.
But that's still weird because you need like a whole crew, like a pit stop in NASCAR, you know? You need the guy doing the tires and the guy checking the oil and stuff.
Yeah, the cut man's busy. Bare knuckle boxing, the cut man is always gonna be busy. He is an integral part of the bare knuckle cornering ecosystem. They need like
10 cut men.
I know.
Just for one fight.
Man, I'm not kidding you. Those cornermen, even Beck's last fight when her fight got stopped, by the cut. Man, they did a great job on packing it because it was open and it didn't bleed. You know, it was pretty cool. They do a really great job, and that's completely necessary. I mean, their triage room looks like it's on the front line of a battlefield. Just nobody comes out unscathed. I think there was one person in the first preliminary bout that got out, and all he had was a little boo boo on his knuckle.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah,
he'll probably do it again and then regret it.
No, that's what he said. He was like, I was like, are you going to do it again? He's like, yeah, totally. I'm like, if you look like her, would you have done it again? He was like, yeah, totally. I'm like,
oh, He's a crazy.
Okay.
He's just a crazy. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. Jeremy looked pretty unscathed. I saw him Monday.
He looked pretty good.
So like whatever swelling is already went down. Yeah. He just has a little like fashion black eye, just like a little line. It doesn't even look like anything. I'm like, look at you, your little fashion black eye. But yeah, it's so rare that you don't get cuts, you don't have broken hands, all that stuff.
Yeah,
so that must have been an experience.
It's brutal. It does not appeal to me.
How many times have you cornered back for bare knuckle?
Just twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it like that last time too? Just really bloody aftermath. In the back room?
I think they had like 5 beds. The first one that I went to. This one they only had 2, and it was a private room because they were trying to just really like lock everything down, and there was enough time. Because of the pay-per-view and the way that they like intervaled the fights, there was enough time to like tend to them or send them to the hospital and then like clear the room before it was. But the first one that I went to in Denver with Beck, there were 5 tables and every table was filled up.
Oh my God.
I mean, you had Ben Rothwell on that card who uses himself. He like lets people like hit him and he takes so much damage just to let them gas out and then capitalize off of it. Like it is not the best strategy for longevity, but it's very entertaining.
Oh my God.
And it works for him, so good on him.
Yeah, good for you, man.
But
that's so brutal. Well, it sounds like you had a good weekend. I wanted to ask because Mike Perry and Eddie Alvarez, they both fought at 175, right?
It was a catch weight.
Okay. How big did they look in person? Because we've seen him, or I've seen him when he was in the UFC, but like
he was
those
a 55er
guys,
and a 70-pounder.
Yeah.
So Eddie Alvarez got to pick the weight because he's coming up from 155.
Okay.
He is no longer a 155er. He is thick. He is very full figured. Not in a bad way. He's just
good. He looked amazing on the scale.
No, he looked great.
He looked like he got his.
He missed weight though.
Did he?
He missed by like a pound.
What?
So we were.
That's so funny.
We were on deck to go into the room. The ladies were first, so first up went Christine, and then we were in line, and Mike Perry comes over and we were waiting to see the doctors. We had already weighed in, and Mike Perry came out and he was storming around and he's drink his Pedialyte and he's like, man, that motherfucker played himself. I was like, what? Ooh. He's like, he missed weight. He picked the weight class. And he missed weight.
It's like we could have done it at 180, 185. I
know, but it was smart because Mike Perry is a big boy. Yeah, and he looked really lean. He looked like he was, he had a big boy cut.
He had a cut. Okay.
He did have a cut. Eddie Alvarez shouldn't have had such a cut, but he was
enjoying that post
Thanksgiving. He had a little bit too much stuffing during the holidays.
Yeah, he is a little stuffed. He looks like in shape though.
He looks like he's holding the weight well. Yeah, like he's on a good regimen.
Mm-hmm. Regimen. That's what I was getting at. But I'm like, am I gonna go there? But thank you, Jess. We're in agreement. He looks good.
He looks great.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, it sounds like a fun weekend. Yeah, I just can't imagine doing that and just the damage that you accumulate, especially after doing it as many times as someone like Beck has done it. Like she needs to like start pumping her esthetician or whoever is like making sure her face looks good because she looks fucking dope. Like she looks so good. Yeah. She will catfish people into doing bare knuckle because they think they'll still look as good as her after they finish.
Well, the thing is, if you look at her post fight though, like she how did Adrian put it? Or it's like her face is soft. Like she has like a delicate face. Like so she bruises really easily.
Okay.
So she was quite swollen. She refers to herself as a bull terrier after she fights because she just swells and like she maybe had like 1 or 2 little stitches just from like little nicks.
Okay.
But like she puffs up from bruising, and I mean obviously you're getting hit bare knuckle and barrage of punches. Like Christine is a brawler, so there's just punches coming, that you're not seeing, and like dirty boxing and all that stuff. You're like, wait a minute.
Wait a second. No, stop it.
Stop it.
Just grab her wrist.
Put my guard up.
How did that happen? Punch me with your thumb. Those are the ones that hurt the most too. Just like from the MMA gloves, you'll catch like this knuckle or this this fucking knuckle. Like I'll catch that and it'll be sore for weeks, and it'll be the dumbest little thing, just like a little random bone hitting you in the right angle.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine.
I know. I can't do it. And they asked me multiple times afterwards. I was like, they were like,
you'd sell out tickets.
They were like, why not? They were like, I was just like, no. And they're like, why? I'm like, because no. And they're like,
wait, who was asking?
The matchmaker for the females. Her name is Jules. And they asked me like afterwards, and then while we were waiting for the girls to get all stitched up afterwards, Christine's coach asked me to. He's like, "Are you sure?"
Best time to ask.
I was like, I'm like,
as everyone's getting stitched up.
Fuck off. No. And then the next day in the lobby, while I'm standing next to my bestie with her glasses on, they're like, so did you think about it? Did you sleep on it? I was like, it's a no.
Like I saw Beck before she put her makeup on. Like, no. God damn it.
They're like, give us a number. Like, it's not in your budget. I know what she gets paid. I know what they get paid. There's no amount of money. There's no amount of money that anybody is making on this card that I would say, yeah, that's great.
So if there was a number, what would it be?
There is no number. It's
no number?
Nothing about bare knuckle boxing sounds appealing to me.
250.
No, more. Girl.
4.
I am 40.
Yeah, but you got better boxing than most of these girls.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
I know. That's the weird part.
It does not matter.
That's the weird part.
They are, so they're 2-minute rounds. They're sprints.
Yes.
They are sprints, and they go hard, and they are just trying to wing you and hit whatever and throw whatever at you. That is a strategy. That is like across the board the main strategy that I have seen. There are a handful of people that are like really technical. Beck is one of them. There were some like technicians on that card.
But sometimes that gets you fucked up.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to like box
in a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. 400. Oh, we're getting close. 450. It has to be like an even half.
It's gotta be, like
at least an even half mil.
Yeah, then
that'll titillate you.
It would be a one and done. We're done. No
4-fight contract, 5 figures or whatever, or 6 figures. No, one and done.
And there needs to be a plastic surgeon in the contract because I will need it.
Yes. Maybe we'll just hold out for the California card so you can get the good ones, the good plastic surgeons, and not the Mormon surgeons. Probably not even allowed to get plastic surgery on there.
I don't know. I watched the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They're pretty.
Pretty decked out.
Yeah, they are.
Good regimens.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Well, we'll see if that happens. Maybe I'll try to negotiate for you. I heard on the grapevine she'll do it for 800. They'll be like, "Bitch, you crazy?" And I'll go 5. Oh, okay. Discount.
Yeah, we'll wait till it gets like sanctioned in Nevada.
Yeah, there you
California, Nevada, because that's when the money will roll in.
Hey, there you go.
I'll love it.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll wait.
Yeah. Oh man. So
out of your mind.
Oh my God. So what's been happening in the world of MMA?
Oh, you want to talk about MMA?
There's been I guess. I mean, it's boring compared to like punching people with a bare fist, but at least you could kick him in the head too.
I mean, I was going to segue to Serrano vacating her WBC title.
Oh, all right. We could talk about that.
Yeah, because the WBC will not allow female boxers to fight for a world title 12 rounds, 3 minutes. They will only approve 2-minute rounds at 10 rounds. And so she's looking for equality. She actually made a huge, mark in history, her last fight out, which was with a different promotion. And she was allowed to do 12 3-minute rounds like the men.
Did it last? Did it go distance?
I believe so.
Okay, so it's possible we can do it and not die.
Yeah. So the WBC has refused to evolve the sport for equality, according to the Serrano sisters. She will vacate just her WBC title following her 12-round unanimous decision victory over Danielle Ramos in October. The WBC refused to sanction the fight because it wasn't the standard 2-minute, 10-minute round or 10 rounds for a women's championship. President Mauricio Solomon said tennis women play 3 sets. Basketball, the basket is shorter and the ball smaller. We stand by safety and well-being of the fighters. Basically saying that women are not fit or strong enough to fight like the men.
See, they don't watch
MMA
Planet
or Animal Planet
or MMA. See, as crazy as MMA is, and as like junior of a sport it is, when it comes to like equality between the male and female athletes, you see it a lot more in MMA than other sports. And it's really about us being on the same platform. Like when you're watching NBA, there's not going to be a WNBA game in the middle of the NBA fight or NBA game.
Yeah.
And just having that platform the same as the men, I feel like you educate people more, the people who are making decisions. They can watch it and they'll say, oh, this woman was able to fight 25 minutes just like the guys were, and she didn't die. They lasted. They still look good in the 5th round. Like, it's possible for women to give the same output as the men do, as long as they're fighting each other.
Exactly.
Like, we're fighting each other. We're not fighting dudes.
Yeah.
And it's really strange that such an old sport like boxing would still try to hold on to kind of an archaic kind of like idea when it comes to sport, because we've proven time and time and again that we can do just as much, we can last just as long, we're just as technical, as the guys. So that's really strange to me, because WBC, they're supposed to be like the trendsetters, like the first ones, the official sanctioning body, and then I feel like all the other boxing like sanctioning bodies are the ones below that. So it would be the equivalent of Dana White saying he'd never allow girls in the UFC. I thought we passed that.
Yeah.
And apparently we're not. That sucks.
I feel like we've evolved past that. I feel like the women in boxing, especially and in MMA, we have proved that we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
We've proved that we can, cross that barrier. I understand. So my first fight in California, it was my second MMA fight, and they did 3 2-minute rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was newly, sanctioned in California, and they were, just trying to do their best, and they were going by the boxing rules with the 2-minute rounds.
Uh-huh.
But after you reached a certain amount of fights, then you could go to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you stayed in that. So just like in boxing, you have, 4 rounds, and then you have 6 rounds, and then 8, and then 10, and then 12. Like, I understand you letting people build up to it. Why not let the women build up to it? She's there.
Especially someone as accomplished as it's Amanda Serrano, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, someone as accomplished as her. At that point, they should be able to make the call on if it's going to be 10 or 12 rounds. Like, if it's going to be 2 or 3 minutes. Same thing with Muay Thai, you start out at 2 minutes, 3 rounds, then you work your way up to either 2 minutes, 5 rounds, or 3 minutes, 5 rounds. And that's the same as the guys. And it's the same in Muay Thai. Why can't it be the same in boxing? It's the same in MMA. Why can't it be the same in boxing? That's really strange that boxing is the one that's holding women back. But if you go back to the history of MMA being considered a real sport, it was the boxing commissions that were trying to stop it from happening. Mm-hmm. So boxing, y'all need to stop with your bullshit.
Seriously.
Stop it.
It's just I don't understand why they're holding on to this tradition so hard. It's not for our safety. It's to me there's something else.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, but it just does not make sense because specifically this woman and many other women on that platform have proved themselves time and time again that they deserve, that they are capable of fighting the standard. It should be the standard.
Yeah, they're not training any less hard. They're not running less or sparring less rounds in the gym. They should be able to fight however many rounds they want.
Yeah, we sign a waiver, signing our life away, basically assuming all risk and bodily harm and death. That is literally on our contract. Let them choose the amount of rounds that they want to go out on.
Yeah, and if anything, the more rounds, the more technically sound you're showing you are. Yes. Because you're able to last these rounds. You're able to use these rounds to game plan and to finally get that finish that you want and not have it taken away from you by the judges like we've seen numerous times. I've watched boxing, which isn't that many times, but every time I'm like, how the fuck did that guy win? You know? And so I understand why someone with a lengthy record who's undefeated would want more rounds to figure out her opponent and finish the job. Y'all need to stop with your bullshit. I'm annoyed about that, and I didn't learn about that until you told me.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a pretty big thing, and I mean, again, I'm not huge in following boxing, but I do enjoy watching it, and so when I heard that, I just felt like it needed to be shared.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Make sure you clip this out so people know that we are not happy with what boxing is doing to the Serrano sisters.
So speaking of equality with, males and females in sports and all that stuff, how do you feel about splitting the bill on a date? Do you go Dutch or do you think the man should pay?
Girl, I've been married 15 years going on January 2nd. Like, I don't even know what splitting the bill is. I make Adam pay for everything, but we have a joint account. Like, I'm like, you go and be a man and pay for dinner. And he's like, you're paying for it. And I'm like, that's neither here nor there. Oh, man. I don't know. I think it depends on the situation. Like, did they ask you out? Did you ask them out? Was it like a mutual, hey, what are you doing tonight? Oh, nothing. What you want to do something? I don't know. We could do something. Like if it's a casual thing, I think it's okay to split the bill. If it's like he asks you out because he wants to get in them draws, you better be paying for it. Like if that's obviously the end game, he wants to like fuck you. Like, he should be paying for
on the
meal.
First date? After one date, Angela?
Not after. It doesn't matter how many dates it takes.
How many visits?
It depends on
2, 3, 10.
How interested he is. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what the parameters are. It's like, you have to have a good balance of, like, being fun to talk to, not looking like shit. I don't know. Good taste in restaurants. I don't know. Like, it depends. It really is. It depends on how the vibe is that night. And then if it's good enough that night, it could be that night. If it takes a while, it takes a while. But I don't know. I think if you guys can't agree on whether you're going Dutch or whether he's paying, then it's probably a red flag.
Sure.
Like it should be just kind of you should know what's what's entailed in the contract before you.
But how do you
before you go out? I don't know. If you don't have that intuition with them, maybe that's a red flag. Like if they're expecting you to pay for lunch, or if I don't know, if they expect that and you don't, then what else is going to happen that they expect that you don't?
Sure.
You have to think about your safety.
That's true.
I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know why.
Properly vet people.
Why is this a question?
We were just talking about equality.
Oh, okay. Well, what's your mantra on that?
They're paying if it's a date.
But what if it's a hang?
They're still paying.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
See,
I believe in chivalry. I'm a bit old fashioned.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they don't, then we are friends, and I am happy to pay.
See, I run into that problem where I end up dating my friends, at least when I was single. I would always date a friend. Like, I would never really, like, fall for someone sight on scene. Is that the same? Because, I don't know. I guess I was more of a guy's girl. So it'd always be, like, people that I've known for a while. And then... oh, let's go on a date. So there was always that gray area between a hang or a date. Yeah. Unless it was actually a date, and then I'd expect them to pay. And I've had guys who have asked me out and then tried not to pay. And I'm just like, I'm never going to see you again.
Never.
What the fuck is your problem? Don't date New York guys. They act like they have game, but they are so cheap. They're all mama's boys. Dude, don't do it. They all live at home. Like, don't do it, because New York's an expensive city. So they hustle, and that comes to dating too. They hustle. They know if you're not happy with it, they can holler at 50 other girls, and one of them is gonna be like, all right, whatever.
I feel like that's everywhere.
Yeah, but New York especially, like, there's a lot of people in New York.
Well, I will steer clear of New York.
The dating pool's a tiny bit smaller out here, I feel like. So they'll do a little bit more.
Not in my experience, but
nah.
But hey, thanks.
You've never dated in New York.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so
I've dated someone from New York.
How'd that go? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? There are too many fucking people in New York. There's too many people out there. So they're just like, hey, I'm going to holler at the next girl that walks by. I'll holler at a whole subway car of people, and somebody's going to give me a lick. You know, somebody's going to, like, jump on the bait.
Sure.
And
it's a numbers game.
It is. Doesn't matter, like, how attractive, how, like, available you are. Like, if you're married, like, they know that eventually someone's going to say yes. So they don't give a fuck. If you can find love in New York, you've done something real special.
Okay.
I feel like. That. I don't know.
All right, we can talk about MMA now.
Yeah. No, I want to talk about dating, because I'm living vicariously through my single friends who haven't been married for 15 fucking years.
Honey, stay married. It ain't what you think it is.
The grass is always...
It is not.
Well...
the grass is dead.
It always seems greener.
It's not. It's AstroTurf. Don't.
It's fake grass.
Stay married. Stay married.
Aw.
Stay where it's safe.
Where was your last date?
Fuck, I don't know.
Oh.
I haven't dated in a long time.
Oh, I thought you...
I took a break.
Oh. Okay.
long break.
Girl dates are fun too. Just
I go on
with
those
your
all the time.
girlfriends.
I take myself out on dates.
That's nice.
I go out with girlfriends. We do girl dates.
Yeah.
I'm gonna still go and have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need no man.
Don't. I can buy myself flowers.
Hey.
I do buy myself flowers too.
Oh, you do. Every fight week, I'm always like. I was like, oh my God, I forgot. It's like really funny to me, but it's also really sweet and charming. The fact that you get fresh flowers and put them in your fight hotel
with candles.
And
I bring my crystals.
Yes, you really create like a mood, a whole vibe in there. And I've never thought about doing that. I mean, I guess I do it my own way. I bring my video games.
Yeah, you just gotta like, bring yourself things that like are good for your soul, that like you know, fill your cup, because fight week can be exhausting. I mean, it's like there's a lot of downtime, so you just want to be comfortable and be surrounded by good things.
Yeah, like crystals.
Yeah,
and friends.
Yes,
and horror movies.
Yes,
that's always fun.
We have good fight weeks.
MMA.
All right, so we just had UFC Austin.
Ooh.
And the lead up to the fight and the fights, there was a lot going on. So we had Bobby Green getting into it in the hotel lobby with
Armin Sarukian.
Thank you. I was gonna really try and like pronounce that one.
I got you.
Thank you.
I got you. I always make a mental note of the hard ones.
Yes,
because I'm like Sarukian.
Because that's a tongue twister right there.
Yeah.
So we had some altercation in the hotel lobby, but that wasn't even his opponent. I'm not exactly sure why it even happened, but
so what happened was Bobby Green did an interview and they probably asked him about Sarukian and he said his fights are boring. Aside from this one, I have to agree. His fights are very like wrestle pressure-y, sit on you, make you hate life for 15 minutes. Like that's what he does. So it's not really wrong. You can't deny his skill, but it isn't the most fun to watch usually. And I mean, that's why most people are like, who is headlining? Who is this guy? Like, who is he fighting? Nobody really knows him yet because he hasn't had those breakout performances like he had this weekend. So Bobby Green I felt like he was correct in saying that, but Armin Sarukian had a problem with that.
He took it very personal.
Yes. He said, keep your name out of my face, brother. He probably said it like that, but you knew what he meant.
Yes. Yeah. It's just some things get lost in translation.
Yeah.
But Bobby Green was not fighting Sarukian.
It's like the Street Fighter move. Haryuken, but it's Sarukian.
Thank you.
Sarukian. Oh wait, no, it's the uppercut. Sarukian. So yeah, you'll never forget it now. Armin Sarukian was fighting. Who was he fighting?
And he had a big win against Benil Dariush.
Yes. Poor Benil.
Yeah, he's been on. This is his second one in a row.
Yeah,
his second tough loss in a row.
And it must be so fucking hard because he just came off of that 8-fight win streak. Like, I hate that.
It's
like,
hard.
You get a streak and you're like, I'm never losing again. And then it happens.
And then it happens.
Twice.
Again.
Ugh. Fuck.
Just for good measure.
Yeah.
But we had Bobby fighting Jalen Turner on short notice. He was originally slated to fight Hooker. Hooker had to pull out due to injury. And man, Jalen got Bobby Green hard. And it was a great knockout. I think what stands out mostly in my mind though is the stoppage.
Yes.
Many people were outraged by the stoppage. It was way past an acceptable time to stop a fight.
Yeah.
Bobby Green went in and out, I think 2 or 3 times before the fight was finally called. He was not defending himself intelligently.
No.
I didn't see any reason why the ref let it go on. And he's apparently apologized. He's taking responsibility and said he did the wrong thing. But that was really, really scary, the amount of damage that he took unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And so I guess my question is, because I saw this quote by Matt Brown.
Oh, I saw that too.
And I'll read it, and it just made me thinking, and I don't necessarily agree with it in this instance. Oh.
Like
yes, please.
somewhere for you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you all. You're such a good hostess.
I gave you so much shit about spelling. I'm sitting up here thirsty as fuck. Dude, yeah, I read that quote too, and I was like...
So this is a quote from Matt Brown being interviewed after the fight, and he says, "I'm going to request referee Kerry Hatley in my fights because I would rather that as a fighter than an early stoppage. Let the dude half kill me. Like, take a couple of years off my life. I don't want this fucking fight stopped." But I agree, it was egregious. Thank you.
Oh, good job, Matt Brown.
I was like, I didn't expect that from him.
Right? Like, using 3 syllable words.
I was like, he threw me off.
That was a big one.
It was absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, what are you thinking? We're literally watching. Like, what are you doing? So he did not agree with that particular stoppage. However, he said, "Let me die."
Yeah, I think a lot of fighters kind of share that sentiment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would hate for my husband to see that happen to me. I would hate for my mother to see that happen to me. Like, people care about your life.
Yeah.
You know, and when you get to that point where you can't defend yourself, where you're unconscious, where you don't know what's going on, but you might have glimpses of like, oh, where am I? Oh, no, I'm back in my bedroom. Oh, no, I'm back in school naked. Oh, no. Okay, I'm in the fight again.
And
you know?
now I'm in the ambulance and in a hospital.
What happened? I don't remember what happened the last 5 minutes of the fight that only lasted 4 minutes. But it's a real thing when you talk about your mental health, when you talk about just the longevity of damage from multiple concussions. Being beaten down like that can give you PTSD. It can really ruin your fight career. We've seen a lot of fighters get into tough fights and they just get knocked out brutally, and usually it's just one hit and then they're out forever and they're never really the same. You look at someone like Dan Hooker. He's pulled out of multiple fights after having so many really tough fights, after getting dropped a bunch. He was basically being looked at as being the next champion, and then lost a bunch in a row. And now people are like, I don't know, he seems a little frail. And that happens to so many fighters. Once they get to that level, something brutal happens, and then they're never the same. And it really hurts my heart to watch that happen to someone like Bobby Green, because they're talking about him having like this Jorge Masvidal type resurgence. You know, people are finally knowing him for being the finisher that he is and for the skill that he has, and then to just be finished in that way and to possibly be damaged to the point where he might not be able to fight as many fights as he was before that happened. It just seemed like a really avoidable accident.
It's there is a fine line between, too early, too late. Mm-hmm. I honestly, I understand wanting to die on your shield, but there is just there's too much at stake with your health. I think health comes first, and especially as I get up in years and fighting and stuff like that, I don't want to be put in those kind of situations where I'm going to take years off of my life. I want function. I want full function.
Yeah.
I want to be able to control my motor skills. I don't want to deal with that kind of damage. So I would appreciate at this point if referees erred more on the side of caution, because it's about health. It's about longevity. And we're still not really understanding the consequences of the damage that we're taking in the sport.
Yeah. Yeah, you hear about people killing themselves all the time.
I know a couple.
Yeah, it's really scary, and a lot of that people think comes from CTE. It's a really scary thing. We don't know much about the brain, and we're in a sport where you can get your brain pummeled. That's a way to win. to pummel your opponent's brain. And if the referee isn't on point that night, then he can really hurt someone. We just had that other incident where the referee didn't realize that the guy was choked out. Like I think he was in a triangle and he went out. Excuse me. That's what he did, and the referee didn't think that was a thing. He's like, oh, he's just fighting. And the guy goes out in this kid's triangle. He transitions to an arm bar, is ripping the kid's arm apart. The kid is asleep, and he wakes up with his arm all mangled and is like, what is happening? Like that. And you're so confused when you get choked out. You wake up, you might not know where you are for a few seconds. I can't imagine waking up with my arm totally destroyed, and it was super avoidable. I think his corner had to jump in there or just throw things in there, and we're yelling at the ref, stop the fight. It shouldn't have to come to that, but I do understand angles, and the referee doesn't always have the best view of the action going on. It happens sometimes. Yeah. And I don't think we've really heard this ref's name before. So he'll still have a job. I think it takes a while, a few fuck ups for someone to really be on that watch list of, hey, don't get in there. But I think early is probably better than late. But at the same time, you get so much shit for early stoppage. Sure. And it's, I don't know. It's really a tough one. It's a tough one to navigate. I feel for the refs because any decision you make to stop a fight can be criticized. And he decided to give Bobby Green a chance to fight back, and he fucked up. But it happens. We have humans in there. Yeah. And it happens. But I don't want to get pummeled like that. No. If I get hurt, give me a few seconds to fight back. Give me a few seconds to recover and start going. But if my head's bouncing off the canvas, please stop it. Please. I don't need to go out on my shield in that manner, in the way Matt Brown wants to.
No, if we're talking cuts, sure. Let me bleed.
Oh, yeah. I'll bleed all over the place. We're used to it.
If we're talking joints... Every month.
we got that under control.
We know how to deal with blood. Thank you.
Yeah, we're fine.
It's nothing new.
You know what I think would be cute if female cornermen started carrying tampons in their cut bag.
How would that be cute?
Just shove it up there. You've done the bloody nose.
Oh, sure.
Tampon. Yeah. Get a nice light day tampon. Shove that thing up there. You're good to go.
I mean, I'm pretty sure some people do it. I mean, they've actually made like the little things that properly fit up your nose so you don't have to do it. But they don't have the string like the tampon does to pull it back out. You need the string.
Otherwise, it's going to get lost up there.
It happens. Then that's a whole nother mess you have to deal with. You don't want to deal with it.
See, we're well versed in the bleeding issue.
Let us bleed.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I really felt for Bobby Green, especially after all that drama that he had to deal with the Sarukian negativity. I'm sure that was weighing on him backstage. I'm sure that caused a distraction or two when he's getting ready, because that kind of thing, I don't know, for whatever reason, I hate any type of drama going into a fight week. It's
hard enough.
Yeah.
It's hard enough. There's so much buildup. You don't need to deal with something emotional like that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, speaking of Sarukian, did I get it right?
Yes.
I said it in my head like it first. I'll never not say it. But speaking of him too, the pettiness on this guy, he went at the press conference and, talked about how he was happy Bobby won and, good. Like, come on, man. Give it a rest. You won. Stop.
Yeah. I hate when people don't respect each other. And I know I'm asking a lot. I'm asking a lot for fighters to respect each other, but I just hate that because people are being asked questions to stir things, to stir drama. It's really, you just don't listen to it.
Don't take the bait.
Don't listen to it.
It just makes you look bad, and it's going to get you. Like, you know what? You're going to be on the bad end of something, and then someone's going to bring it up.
And they're going to ask the questions to everybody, and everyone's going to talk shit about you because that's what the media does. So I hate when they're able to turn us against each other, because I don't think Green had a problem with Sarukian, and Sarukian had a problem with Green. It was just this fabricated thing because someone asked a question.
Yeah.
And that really bummed me out. So to see him taking a little victory lap over Jalen Turner's win, because Jalen Turner did that and no one's talking about him. He showed up 6 days notice, made weight, had to weigh in twice, and then did that to someone who is just a staple in the weight class. That was a big deal. That was a big deal for Turner, and no one's talking about it because Sarukian is being petty. Mm-hmm. Way to go. Now you got another target on your back. Jalen's coming for you.
Ooh, I want that fight next.
He's lanky, man. Speaking of Street Fighter, he's like Dowsum. You know, he's like, oh yeah.
He's fun to watch. He uses his length so well.
And he's so good on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just the kicks and the punches that you have to worry about. If it goes to the ground, he's doing some weird shit to you. And his arms and legs are so long, and he knows how to use them. He really has a fun style.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, me too.
Well, on that note, I think we're going to segue to our exclusive content portion of this show. Yeah.
Show a little neck.
A little bit.
Oh, no.
You like that?
Armpit.
Save that for later. Oh my God, Angela. Jesus, what are you doing?
Sorry. I forget myself.
Well, we'll be back with some more tidbits about what is going on in MMA news.
What's one of the things we're going to talk about?
We're going to talk about the Strickland theory.
Oh, Strickland theory. You're not going to want to miss that.
Don't miss it.
All right. We'll
we
see
have
you
all
in a
that
sec.
and more. See ya.